Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to the videos, and also hit the notification bell so you know when I'm dropping these videos. Today, I tell you a little story about when I was up in. Well, this is about my brother's in it a little bit, but it's about something that happened to me. Uh, well, I think it was at a bar right there by my house. I lived on Blackstone in Dakota, right there by the Manchester Center in Fresno. This is like '94. And I think it was at the bar right there across. There was a video store and there was a bar right there. And I think I had met this girl right there, but I had met some girl. Her name was Denise. And she was a little. She was pretty, but she was a little thick chick. You know, she was a little fat in the ass. You know, and so I met her there. Right, I think right there outside the bar. I think I met her. You know, but anyways, I exchanged numbers with her, and we didn't have cell phones back then. The cell phones were already out because cell phones came out in like the late '80s. So, but they were not everybody had them back then, you know. So I think I probably still had a pager or some shit. But so we exchanged numbers, and I would talk to her on the phone and shit, you know. And hold on one second here. Move. Sorry about that. The fucking dog's trying to go outside. Um, so we talk on the phone and bullshit. So one day she tells me, "Hey, why don't you come down to my friend's apartment? She lives right here on Blackstone in Sussex, and I used to live right there. So I knew when she told me what apartment she was at, I knew what she was talking about. And I said, yeah, I used to live in the same apartment when I first moved out here. So she was like, well, come down here. It's me and just me and my friend. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna drink. So I told her, all right. So I told my brother, say, hey, man, my brother's 4 years younger than me. You know, so I said, hey, I got this girl that I met, and she has a friend, and she wants me to come over to the apartment right there. So she lives at the apartment we used to live right there in Sussex, behind the Carl's Jr. And but she had a friend with her. You know what I mean? So let's go. And you know, I was throwing him a fucking bone. You know what I mean? Like, let's go over there, see what's going on. So he's like, cool, let's go. So we go over that night, and I think her friend opened the door, and when I saw her friend, I was like, oh shit, the friend was way better than that one, the one I was talking to. So she introduced herself to me. I think her name was Josie. She introduced herself to me and my brother, and we came in the house. And the other girl comes out of the room, and you know we're talking for a minute. I think they might have offered us beer, but they were like, "Oh, we're gonna finish getting ready." So I think they went in the bathroom. They were doing their hair and shit. And so me and my brother were sitting on the couch in the living room, and I told my brother, I said, "Hey, I came for that one, the other one, but I'm gonna get at the friend. Fuck that one. You can have the other one, the one that I was talking to. You can have that. I don't want to fuck with her. I want the other one." So he's like, he don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He's like, okay, that cool, whatever. So me and him were sitting there talking, and like I'm on one couch, and he's sitting over here on this a love seat. So this couch here and the love seat right here. So he's sitting on the love seat, and I'm talking to him, and then I noticed that he has a fucking a big ass fucking roach, a big ass fucking cockroach on his arm. And I'm looking at him like I can see it crawling like off the couch and it crawls into his arm, and I'm like, oh fuck. I see it, and I know how he is. You know, he's gonna fucking flip the fuck out. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to say nothing to him because he just. I speak my mind. You know what I mean? But he also does too. He does. He'll talk shit. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, one day one of my cousins had a kid, and when they first when they first bring the baby home, the whole family went to his house and to see the baby, and there was a bunch of us in the living room, and like they bring the baby to, they start passing the fucking baby around. You know what I mean? Yeah, the baby's all bundled up and shit. They're passing the baby around. You know how the women are. They're fucking touching the baby's lip and all that shit, and you know trying to make the baby smile and telling how cute the baby is, all this bullshit that women do. But the kid was ugly. It wasn't a good looking baby. It was an ugly baby. You know what I mean? And I remember seeing the baby, like, God damn, that's a fucking ugly baby. But I don't say that. Well, they passed the baby on over to my brother, and he's pulling the baby. He's looking at it. He's like, looking at the baby. He's like, then he started making like, fucking like, oh you're so ugly. Yes you are. Yes you are. You're so ugly. And I'm looking at him like, oh fuck this guy. My family's like, hey, take the baby from him. Like, what the fuck's he doing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, what? The fucking baby's ugly. I was like, what a fucking guy, you know what I mean? But that's the way he is. Like, he'll say what he wants to say, you know what I mean? So when I seen that shit, I was like, oh fuck, if he sees that, he's gonna freak out right now. So I'm talking to him, and he looks down, and he sees it, and he fucking starts swatting at his arm. He jumps up. He's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, hey man, be quiet, dude. He's like, nah, fuck that, man. She has fucking roaches. And I'm like, yeah, but just, hey, relax, bro. Like, calm the fuck down. Sit down. He's like, nah, fuck that, man. I'm going home. I'm going home. I said, nah, man, don't go home. Don't fucking leave, man, because you fuck things up for me. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, but I said, she has fucking roaches in her house, man. He's like, fucking gross. They fucking got roaches crawling on me. And I'm like, just fucking lower your voice, man. Shut the fuck up. Just sit down. We're gonna fucking hang out. You know what I mean? You wanna get laid or you don't wanna get laid. You know what I mean? What the fuck? He's like, nah, man, fuck that. I'm gonna go home, man. This bitch got roaches. But I finally get this fucking guy to calm down. We hang out there. I think I fucked around with her friend or whatever. I hooked up with her friend. Well, I started hanging out with that girl all the time, and he was hanging around with the other chick all the time. So I was kind of seeing that chick for a moment, and I want to say it was probably a month or so later, maybe 2 months later. She tells me, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" She's like, "Can you take me downtown Fresno to the fucking free clinic down there?" And I'm like, "To the free clinic? Fuck you gotta do at the free clinic?" She's like, "Oh, well, I got tested a while back, and I gotta go over there because I never went and got my results. So, um, I want to go down there and get the fucking results and see what, like, some, like, fuck, okay, like, the fuck, like, gotta take this fucking bitch to the free. I've been fucking around with this girl, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't using no condoms. So I said, fuck it, we get in the car, we go off to the free clinic in downtown Fresno. And I'm sitting in the waiting room, she goes inside. They call her into the back, and like 30 minutes later, she comes out and she's crying. And I'm sitting in the chair looking at her. I walk out of the back room, and she goes to the counter. She's talking to the girl at the counter, and I'm just like looking at her and thinking to myself, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we're at the free clinic. You came over to get tested for diseases, and you come out of there crying. I've been fucking with you, and I ain't been wearing no condoms. And I'm thinking like, man. So she comes and she sits down. She has some paperwork she's filling out. She's crying. It's not like she's sniveling or nothing, but she's like tears running down her face and shit. And I'm looking at her. She's not saying nothing. I'm just sitting there like looking at her like you're not gonna say nothing. Like, just you're fucking filling out paperwork. So then I say, hey, the fuck is going on? What are you crying for? And she says, I said, man, I tell her, you better not fucking tell me you have HIV or AIDS. You better not fucking tell me that shit right now. And she like looks at me. She's like, no, I don't have that. I have gonorrhea. And I'm like, oh my god. Like I'm relieved that, but then I'm like, fuck gonorrhea. Like I used to hear bad shit about gonorrhea. Like you be pissing pus and shit like that. You know what I mean? And you're gonna feel a burn and all this stuff. So I'm like, oh my god, this fucking bitch gave me gonorrhea. But I'm relieved that she don't have fucking AIDS. So I'm like, fuck. I get up. I go to the window. The doctor's sitting behind the window. There's the little secretary chick right there. Then the doctor's and the little desk on the side right there doing some paperwork. And I tell him, I say, hey, doctor. And he's like, turns around, he's like, yeah, how can I help you? I said, she just came out from over there, from the back. She said she has gonorrhea. And he's like, comes to the window. And I said, I've been fucking sleeping with her. And I ain't using no fucking condoms. He's like, come in the back. So I'm like, all right. So I go in the back. I get back there. He has a clipboard. He's like, fill this stuff out. So I'm filling it out. And I give it to him. He takes and gives it to the secretary chick. And he takes me to this little back room. And he's like, all right, go ahead and lay down on the bed and pull your pants down. And I'm like, for what? He says, because, well, you've been sleeping with her. She has gonorrhea. Now I can test you right now. And you can wait 2 weeks. Or I can test you, but I can also treat you right now just in case. Because believe me, you do not want to fucking feel the shit you're gonna feel if you got gonorrhea from her. So he goes, I'm gonna treat you, but I'm also gonna test you for everything. But I'm gonna treat you right now because most likely you have fucking gonorrhea. If you've been, he goes, how many times you slept with her? I said, I've been sleeping with her a lot. He's like, okay, so most likely you have fucking gonorrhea too. I'm like, fuck, man. So he pulls out this thing. It's like this long. It's like a metal wire. It has a cotton at the tip. Like it looks like a big cotton swab, but it has metal. He pulls that fucking thing out and he puts it in some kind of medicine or whatever. And he's like, no. He's like, just grab the side of the bed and hold and just like there's little things right there, like little handles. He like grab those things right there. And I go, what do you do with that? He goes, I'm gonna stick it inside the hole, and I gotta put this shit in there. It's medication, and I'm like, oh fuck, like oh man. I wanted to tell him like, no, fuck that, but then I was like, I don't want to fucking feel what gonorrhea feels like. So then he's like, sticks it in there. He's going like that, like he's just cleaning out a fucking toilet or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my god, like I'm squeezing on the fucking handle of the bed, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, hurry up!" He's like, "Hey, calm down, calm down." He pulls it out, and I'm like, "Motherfucker," you know, like. And he gets another one. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He said, he puts in some pink stuff. He's like, "This is to numb the inside. That way you can use the restroom." Because what I just did right now, when you go to try to go pee, it's gonna burn because I was just in there with the other one. So this one's gonna numb the inside. I'm like, fuck. All right, whatever, man. So I grab the side of the bed and he does it again. He sticks it in. He's going like this, pulls it out, and then they do the blood and all that shit. And he's like, okay, come back in 2 weeks. So then I leave. I don't think I fucked around with that girl no more after that. I think I'm done with that shit. You know, I can't remember. My brother would probably remember, but I don't remember if I did. But anyways, 2 weeks later I go back and I tell the fucking girl, hey, I'm here to get the results. So she's like, all right. She goes, pulls my file. Then the doctor comes. He takes me to the back. He's looking through it. And he's like, all right, you're cool. Everything's good. I said, I'm good. He's like, yeah. He goes, to be honest with you, you didn't even have a gonorrhea. You had nothing. And I'm like, I didn't have anything? He's like, no. I said, so I went through all that shit with the fucking cotton swab and wire shit for nothing? He's like, well, yeah, but I'd rather you be safe than sorry. I was like, fuck, man. Like, all right, cool. Like, that's good. Like, I have nothing, which was surprising because here I am sleeping with a fucking girl that has gonorrhea, and I didn't catch it. But yeah, that was a hell of a fucking experience. You know what I mean? And you would think that after going through that shit, that I would learn my lesson. but I didn't. You know what I mean? As far as using condoms, I just, yeah, you know, I was always living on the edge of the seat. You know what I mean? I never would use them. You know what I mean? And it was stupid because there was times where I was in relationships and I'd be out fucking around, and coming home. You know what I mean? Lucky for me, I told my wife before I'm surprised that I didn't never got AIDS with all the things that I was doing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I didn't learn my lesson. I kept on fucking around with different women and shit. But yeah, that was a story when I almost got gonorrhea, but I came out clean on the other end. So, anyways, that's my story. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be talking to you guys later on.